Hey everyone, this is Mike X here with another Dragalia Lost update. I'm going to be talking about this month in Dragalia Lost. But first I'm going to talk about this. So this was ended up leaked and it became, and we know it's true. Adamantite ingot. It is used to unbind 6-star weapons. This one is kind of worthless, especially because it's easy to get a fully unbound 6-star tier 1 weapon and to get a tier 2, and which are stronger than tier 2 high dragon weapons. It's much easier. And to get it to tier, and especially with tier 2, to get it to tier 2 you have to just if you max it it because it comes max unbound when you enhance it, so it doesn't really matter. Honestly, you don't really need this. This is kind of worthless. I mean, we'll see how this change. So yeah, I don't know why they did this. It's kind of a waste for now, unless it's like, unless they change the amount you can get from it. I don't feel like you should get this. So I'm just went over that briefly. Now to this month. So talk about some stuff that open up talking about the Time One Torment, talking about Wukong, who is honestly somewhat of a disappointment, but at least he doesn't cost. You don't have to pay. You can 50 MC. He's the easiest character at 50 MC, since you don't have to use any worm, since you don't have to use any material, since the only materials you need are the ones that you get from the Time Worn Torment event to unbound him. So yeah, it's kind of easy to get him max unbound. So that's a good thing. It's basically, essentially, you're getting free, essentially kind of getting a free skills and getting free co-abilities at somewhat good co-abilities. Um, and also a free adamantite or and free Damascus ore. Now to Galatea. They talk about Leaf, how he's the new one, but he also came with these characters, which is going to be now a common thing. The Galatea is now going to not just introduce Gala Leaf, it's also not just introducing Gala characters, it's going to introduce non-Gala characters, which will be, which these ones are going to be permanent. Gala Leaf will only be available during Gala Banners. That's, of course, that we kind of figured. But here's where the interesting thing comes into play. Dragalia, which was previously only available once every 2 months, they're going to be held at irregular intervals, which, I mean, that's okay. I mean, there's that's good news and bad news. The good news is that means we have it's going to appear more often, so that would be, it could appear more often, especially since they seem to be doing it once per month. Where if they ended up at the end of a month, so I'm like, if they alternate once per month, where they give us like a Gala, an adventurer, and then a dragon, that would be cool. But the one downside to that, which means is that you're never gonna know when it's gonna. But here's the thing: when it said they're gonna be held at regular intervals, that means that they can appear whenever they want. So it means you have to be more cautious with how you spend, because you never know when when a gala banner is gonna appear. You can't just like plan ahead. You have to. It's essentially meaning, if, let's just say, if a game breaking unit comes out, but then the next one at the gala banner comes out and that one's also game breaking, and you spend all your worm rights, and if you have any diamantium on that unit and you don't have enough to get the gala unit, that's the downside. You never know when it comes, but I mean, it's good at least people with monetization. Because the thing is, the this game the thing is, this game starts to spike in popularity whenever there's a gala banner out. So yeah, it's better for that, but still, it's kind of it's gonna be hard to deal with. It's gonna So hopefully just save up more and be more cautious with who you summon. Um, then there's version one. They talk about version 1.20, about the new dodge mechanics, as well as as well as the new shared skills, which can cost a ton of money. So here's where they also talk about. Um, and also they talked about, oh yeah, the advanced dragon charts, how they reduced the damage, which it made people thought that as a result, it seemed at first that it ruined Fiorenchi's the 1.20 update, but actually they didn't really. There are two ways to actually still use Fiorenchi's on Master, Hyper, and Hilda. One way is to get rid of all your HP augment, take all HP augments off of Fjorm, which that's one way. It's probably the cheaper way, but it's not my favorite, especially since it will cost you, I would say, about 600. It will cost you well, let me think. It will cost you about 6 million gold rupees, or actually 6,400,000, depend if you have the HP on the weapon and the dragon. So there's that. Um, but the main, but the other way, is using, and you can do this because we did get 6 shadow totems recently because of an error. Is to use Durant, is to unlock Durant skill and use that, because it gives you defense decrease, which also allows Fionn to go into the red. That's another way, which that's my preferred way. Unfortunately I don't have 2 hand maxed out, so Durant for DMC, so I have to do that first. I don't even have him. I don't even have him in this 5th mana circle. I have to get a ton of old water, which I mean I could get that on the 15th when we get the reset for the MG. But yeah, so that's another way. So yeah, so Fiorentina still exists. Now this month's schedule. This is where interesting stuff comes into play. So the onslaught event. It will the onslaught event will debut right after the Time Worn Torment raid event ends. Oh, and also I forgot to mention over this, but the elemental tomes that you need to unlock shared skills, they're going to be rewards for events such as the onslaught event. So you can get them from the onslaught event. So that's going to be good. So let's hope we can get it up. Let's see how much we can get for them, because I want to get some. And so the onslaught event they talked about, it will be solo quests, solo play, and quests where the event will center around solo play and quests where you must defeat tons of enemies. And in addition to enjoying a story that focuses on the adventurers, there are also quests where you must fight wild shapeshift, which kind of intrigues me. It makes me think that, are we going to be, does that mean we're basically going to be fighting the whole time with those shape-shifted events? Is that going to mean that we're going to fight while being while being in a shapeshift form the whole entire time? Because that would be very interesting. And also will probably make certain events such as it would probably make events such as it will probably make anything involving fire and water kind of a joke. Yes, I said fire and water, kind of, where you have to use a fire venture or a water venture, kind of a joke, because fire has, actually shadow even too. It will actually make Lafna very, very powerful because of her, because with fire, I mean you have let's see, I mean with fire you have Calamars, which we know how broken that is, as well as with Halloween Mimic Galamim's super forms, which are like their dragon transformations, which are stronger than normal. Especially Halloween Mimic. Oh god, she's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. And I mean, and water Leviathan is the, excluding the unique transformations, the dragon transformations of like Galamim, Halloween Mim, and I would say also, and Lathna, I would also say Tiki, but I count hers a little bit differently. But yeah, like those three, like excluding those three, I mean Leviathan is the strongest dragon behind Galamars in terms of damage. like DPS wise, like stronger than any other dragon. So yeah, those events are kind of going to be easy. I mean, in wind, there's also so we'll see how it goes though. Um, and then in late June. Oh, and talk about actually going back to that with water. I mean, you also have Urius and Tiki both had the shapeshift, and Shadow, Aldred, and Belina have the unique shapeshift as well. There's a lot of things that could go into there. And then in late June, the main campaign will be updated with the addition of Chapter 14, which this is some of the pictures of the. It looks to be amazing because so. Yeah, the solar barrier will be you'll enter there and it'll be a new map and look at this. This is amazing. I've never it's so great. It looks so good. So yeah, so that's definitely good. Um talk about Master Folk, about the tier 2, the new tier of 6-star weapons. Through as well as the materials that drop a master difficulty has been added to the weekly bonus for Volkswath Expert, similar to how like the Master Dragon drop, Master High Dragon drop, sorry, an expert. Now, so they're in the weekly bonus, and now they talk about the new one, the fire twins. So here's what it looks like. It's Ayaha and Otoha. They have unique movements since they're two characters, so this will be something interesting. So the next update is scheduled for the end of June, and which will increase the number of team slots and reductions to the space requirements for the application. And there'll be notifications for more detail. There'll be notifications that go into further detail of this stuff in the future. So yeah, that's gonna be no, I mean that's fine and all, but the one thing I'm waiting for is when are we gonna get the encyclopedia, because that's been it's they announced that back during the 1.5 year anniversary, and we haven't gotten anything about that since. We got the event compendium, but we've got nothing about that. So let's hope. I mean, but then again, that was near the end when we started to talk about that. I'm guessing it will be coming soon, hopefully before the 2 year anniversary, which starts in September. I mean, we know we won't be getting that till June. I mean, we're getting this one at the end of June, so we have July, August, and most of September before to get that one. So yeah, they talk about how the balance adjustments, so it's fine. I mean, but they also gave us 5 of each elemental tome. So yeah, that's gonna be good. So use those on certain adventures. The ones, like I said, if I was to use them on anyone, there's a lot of adventures I can use them on. I mean, if you one of them, like for fire, some of them I have interested in. Like I know Marth, there's a setup that allows him to get into got. There's a setup for not just Marth, for almost any character to use, which is for almost any character except for Chelsea and Hunter Berserker, which is using Gala Mims and Yuden's skill, because you get Yuden's automatically, and I can't remember if Gala Mims was a 5 or not. I think it was. If not, you have to pay some. That would be a upset, which you might have to. So I would wait for some of them. But like Gala Mims, the reason why I have those two is because people have found out that it's like using those two is, and especially since most units have Gala Mars, especially it works with Marth because of his last boost. You can literally get into Gala Mars like very, very quickly by using both of those skills. So that's that. So that's why I would say you definitely invest in those. Um, and that's why I'd say that's a good one to use. I mean, the Okada weapon, is fine, but it's like that's another option. You can switch out the Okada weapon skill for Galaman. don't with Martin, don't use Galliums over Udens. You want to use Udens because Udens gives burn. It gives burn, it inflicts burn, which is useful for it's useful for Marth. I mean, water. There's a couple of them. It's hard to say with that one too. Wind. Wind I'm also kind of uncertain with. If you well, actually, if you have Galatea and want to utilize him, I would. I'm pretty sure I would actually use it. I would. I think you also need to save him for that one, but for the Gala, like, I would try to get Sadis's skill. His when he's in his man when you have his MC when he's in his mana spiral. I mean, because his when because the one skill because his skill is shareable and it works well with it can work well with Galatea because Galatea has one of the unique things about him is that defense is the strength is that he has a is that he does like extra damage to enemies that have a strength that have reduced strength or reduced or reduced defense, which is really which Silas' skill not only does it poison, and I'm pretty sure it also deals extra damage to poison enemy, and I'm pretty sure it also does extra damage to poison enemies. I think, um, but it also has a 50% chance of giving the enemy a strength reduction. So that's really good. So that's actually a really good skill for him. Um, I mean, light. If I had to say any skill, I also want light. I would say for any. There's a couple of them. Chitosi's. I mean, there's Chitosi. There is like a couple of good skills all over. I made like a list of them. The only one that I think is actually really, though, actually probably one of the better ones to use actually for specifically for HP units that benefit off of low HP would be is as the new one of the new characters that we saw up here. Yeah, this guy's Zhu Baji. Um, I mean, a couple units also. It not only well, first of all, his skill stuns, but it does more damage to lower the HP. Which I mean, there's another skill that can be also useful. Like one of the skills is Annalise skill. People have been using that one specifically because specifically as a safety measure for Master Volk because Master Volk is actually kind of hard, especially with one of the hardest things is his blood moon phase, which if you can't kill it, because let's say if you aren't able to destroy it fast enough, because let's just say you don't have what's the thing called again? If you don't have a plague inflicted on you, yes, plague inflicted on you, because he can heal it. In any of the phases, he could be stunned, and it stops that. So yeah, that's one thing. And Shadow Tomes, um, the only one, like I said, you would now have 11 of those. So if any, I would try to go for Ieyasus is a good one. It's 7. Durance is 6, which is good for Fjorm Cheese. The reason why I say Ieyasus is good, but only for co-op. And the reason why only for co-op is because from what people have said, triple bleed stack Ieyasu. If you use Ranger skill, Evangel's and Mana Spiral skill 1, which poisons enemies, and then you use Ieyasu's afterwards with 3 and 2 of your other party members also have Ieyasu. That thing does a ton of. That thing would do a lot of damage because of triple bleed stack and the poison for extra damage. So yeah, that's that's why I would say that that's why EAS is good, but it's only good for cooperative play because because everyone has a shared skill and everyone can use EASs. It can work in win somewhat because you have because of Victor who has bleed, and also it could technically work in flame if you happen to have Mega Man on your team since he also has a way to bleed, but he could get to bleed very quickly anyway with his metal points, so there's that. But yeah, I mean, but other than that, yeah, this is one of the best games. So anyway, guys, that's gonna be it. Um, and if you so yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you haven't already, well, actually, first, make sure to leave a like on this video and comment as well down below for any suggestions or for anything you want to say. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you can get notified of whenever my videos go up. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.